What's happening, gamers? Welcome back to the Lego Batman DS, and it's time for the finale of the Batman story, the Gotham Cathedral. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss another Kwings Let's Plays episode. The Batwing and Robin's stupid thing are ready to track down Joker at the Cathedral.
Yay!
I mean, it looks like a mini bat plane. It doesn't even look like a bird, you know?
Yeah, I know.
And in the Lego Batman video game, like not the DS, Robin has the either Robin Copter or a Batcopter. He never really had his own signature vehicle until actually the Lego stuff.
I like the gargoyles here.
Yeah, unless you count Tim Drake's Redbird car or motorcycle. Those are the only things that Robin has ever really had.
When were you saying he got his own vehicle in these games?
Well, I mean, yeah, for merchandise-wise.
Oh, right.
Because he would always... You would want to buy the Bat Chopper to have, like, a Robin toy or something like that.
Oh, right.
Because everything had Batman's name on it. Robin didn't have his own stuff until he became a teenager. And he just had a car that he and... I think he and Alfred made, or Lucius Fox, I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, he's so lucky. How many teenagers get to have their own car that it's, like, designed specifically after them?
The New 52 Robin, Tim Drake, or Red Robin, excuse me, he had lots of different vehicles that he would incorporate with his Titans. So he would have, like, a Titans jet that I believe he called the Vulture or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe it was the Raven, I don't remember. And his Redbird, instead of it being a car, it was a motorcycle.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like him in the motorcycle. I mean, that makes sense.
I love the Redbird car, though. It was so cool.
I just never understand why Batman doesn't have... Why can't they just ride in the same car? Like, it's just weird.
They did for a while.
Oh, okay. It's just like, this car doesn't have room for the two of us in here.
But you have to remember that the Lego Batman video game was just kind of like a lengthy toy commercial, because after this game came out, before they just had like the Keaton style like Batman costume, they would get different variants of Batman's Lego form after this game released.
Yeah.
That's when the Lego Batman sets really started to change. So you would get like Scuba Diver Batman, you would get Demolition Batman, and different variants for Robin, different vehicles to buy and put together, more villains, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, totally. I know, it is basically a commercial to sell more toys.
And now it's funny that the Lego Batman playsets are actually going back to what they looked like prior, like going back to the Keaton look, because the Will Arnett Batman is essentially the Keaton look Batman. The black and yellow.
Yeah, you're right. It is the all black.
Which was actually a very controversial decision for the Keaton film to change how Batman looked.
Oh.
To appeal to modern audiences. It was the first time that a superhero movie got a redesign that looked completely different than the comic books.
Oh, yeah, I know, because before people were all about, like, oh, everything has to be accurate completely. Yeah.
The Richard Donner Superman movie, he had the authentic Superman costume.
Oh, wow.
But Batman was the first comic book film to kind of deviate from that. And because of that, like the X-Men movie that came out in the late 90s, that's why they didn't wear their bright colored spandex. They wore the black, like, spandex suits.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that was a good thing or not, but nowadays it's like they changed everything all the time.
Everything has become more authentic again, yeah.
Yep.
They found a way to make the Marvel costumes and the Batman costumes and all this stuff look close to comic booky, but at the same time giving it that movie edge.
Yeah, they get a modern twist on it. Everything is like darker and more subdued, and
I really think that a black Batman costume does work, though. I think it looks more bat-like than...
the entire thing totally
than
black.
Blue and gray.
Yeah, the blue and gray isn't... I mean, in the comics, I guess it's easier, like, for kids to, I mean, you know, to read and stuff without getting scared, but it's like, if you're trying to scare someone in a dark alley and you're wearing blue, it's not really going to scare them. So, I mean, it makes sense to be totally black. Only problem is the bright yellow. It's like,
You know why he has the bright yellow on his
I know,
chest, though.
so that people will will basically throw or shoot towards that spot. Mm-hmm. And then that's because he can't really afford to wear armor over his entire body because then he couldn't move. So...
Yeah, he experimented with different things.
But I guess, like, in the Bale Batman, he has more armor, but it's, like, lightweight or something.
I really thought that they were going to do the oval, but the reason why they didn't is because at the time in the comic books, Batman wasn't wearing the oval again. By the time Batman INC came out, or Batman Incorporated...
Yeah.
You know, Batman was going back to the oval look to kind of make himself look different because there were two Batmen running around. There was Dick Grayson with the bat symbol that everybody likes over the oval. I like the oval better. I think it looks cooler. But then Bruce was like, you know, I need to do something to make my bat suit look different than everybody else's. So in Batman Incorporated, he went back to the yellow oval, which actually looked really cool. The Batman Incorporated suit was kind of a combination of the Keaton suit from the movies, the 90s and 80s and 70s Batman costume, but with a darker color to it.
Yeah.
And he also added, like, more armor to the suit. It looked really cool.
That's awesome.
But he only had that bat suit for, like, six to 8 months.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry, I'm spacing out.
Oh, that's alright. Poor Kwing is a little cold. I think you were just giving Robin a little trading there.
Yeah, let's
Come on,
go with
Robin.
that. Alright, not happy. This is supposed to be the Cathedral theme. They're not playing it.
I know, I want a cool cathedral.
There we go. See the creepy organ?
I love organs. I don't know why people think they're creepy. I guess they sound creepy.
They just do.
Well, that's because I wonder if they were not featured in all those, like, vampire things, if they would be still considered creepy.
I will never forget the final scene between Joker and Batman in the '89 film. That was just so well done. The only thing I didn't like about it, and even as an adult now, I don't think it was a great idea to kill off the Joker. But back then, I mean, it was so expensive to get Jack Nicholson to do the movie. Can you imagine how much it would have cost to do a sequel?
Oh my god.
So maybe the reason why they killed off a lot of the big Hollywood villains is so they didn't have to pay them again to bring them back for another movie.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, how could you... But of course it made money, so I mean, you could just use the money you made to pay them again, but...
Well, they had no idea that the first Batman movie was going to be a super success anyway, so they wanted to tie up all the loose ends, they wanted to be controversial, they wanted to tell their version of the story, and both Keaton and Burton thought it was stupid that a villain would just end up going to jail after committing all these atrocities, and the fact that they did that one super controversial thing in Batman by making Joker the murderer of the Waynes, like when he was a teenager.
Right.
They had to have Batman murder the Joker, but how he did it, it was kind of like manslaughter. It was an accidental death.
Right.
I mean, Keaton has done interviews, and he said that when they did that scene and used the back grapple to have the Joker tied to the gargoyle, that Batman knew that he was killing him. But if you watch earlier interviews and the way that Burton was describing it, he was trying to stop the Joker, and, you know, the Joker just ended up dying because of karma.
Right.
But it's like Batman knew and calculated that him putting the gargoyle on there, either Joker would have to let go of the helicopter,
yeah.
or, you know, eventually the weight of the gargoyle would be the death of him. So maybe what they were trying to do during the writing process and the storyboards is that Joker was going to fall off the helicopter and the gargoyle would have him trapped there so the police would come.
Oh, right.
But that's not what happened. When they do the movie, Batman shoots the gargoyle on Joker as the helicopter's pulling Joker away. And the fact that Joker's holding on, the gargoyle breaks loose.
Oh, right.
Which is no way that could have happened. No human could have held on that long. That was a little bit, disbelief there. Because that gargoyle weighs like several tons.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, okay, here's a chance in a million he'll live, but he might die, but I don't really care. Or something like that. But yeah, he couldn't really hang on as long
Well, the
as
gargoyle breaks off.
he did. Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah, and then it pulls him down or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think that if you have to have a way for a villain to... I mean, if you want to make Batman really dark, you would make it look like an accident, but secretly he would know that it was, and it wasn't.
If you look at his facial expression...
That would be the creepiest way for it to be, yeah.
He doesn't do anything until Jack Nicholson does that ad-lib. Sometimes I just kill myself. Feel free to drop in. And then Batman gets the idea... I'm going to use my bat grapple. It's that point in the movie, that look, where he knows exactly what he's doing. So I believe Keaton...
But he could still tell the police it was an accident, but
he doesn't tell the police anything. They don't care.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's like they don't even care because he was a mass murderer, so... Yeah, wow, that's dark. I'm going to have to watch that again. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So did Keaton before say it was an accident, but later on was saying it wasn't?
He never really talked about it. He said Batman did what he had to. And, you know, he says nobody knew that this was going to be the big success because, you know, Batman up until that point, he says, I'm not talking about the comics because I didn't follow the comics really clearly. He was like, up until that point, besides us and Frank Miller... Batman was still remembered as, like, kind of this very lighthearted, fun show.
Right.
And he says, I know that in the 70s and 80s, the Batman comics kind of, like, got dark, and that's what we borrowed our inspiration from, was stuff like Frank Miller, and, you know, he talked about some different Batman stories.
Right.
And he was like, that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah, I mean, thank God that they made Batman cool again.
Well, you have to thank Frank Miller, because Frank Miller started to do, like, Batman Year One, The Dark Knight Returns, all this other stuff in the 80s.
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
It's because of this that you were able to have, like, all these interesting Batman stories. Because there were dark Batman stories before, but, like, in those stories, like, in the 70s and 80s, Batman would lose a lot.
Oh.
Like, comic book arcs would last several months.
Wow.
Like, you would have probably about 4 to 5 months is what a comic arc would be, and during that time, Batman would lose, or people would die, and things like that. So he wasn't, like, this super confident, I'm always going to resolve every case type thing.
Yeah.
There was more of a detective-driven element to it.
Right.
And more drama and suspense and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was more like a gumshoe or like a private detective where it's like, oh man, some of my witnesses died. Oh, I'll have to go on the trail again.
Pretty much. The 70s and 80s is when Batman comics started to get really dark again, like they were in the 40s. Like, they weren't written for kids anymore, I would say, by 1971.
I mean, it's true, because, like, if you're more of a nice person, then, yeah, you're not going to be as dark, and you're not going to be doing as crazy things or doing as dark things to your enemies. But at the same time, if they don't know you're dread, if you're not dark, then they're going to get away with more stuff because they're not going to be afraid of you. So the darker you are, the more you kind of lose your own morality, but you also help more people. So it's like, it's kind of like it's hard to know which is best.
I don't know if we're actually going to be able to get all the studs this time. We might actually not get true hero status.
I don't even know how to get up there on that thing.
Well, let's throw the switch. That did something. There we go. That's how we're going to get up there.
Okay.
No big.
Holy Cathedral, Batman.
I just can't get over Pompadour Robin.
Yeah.
They're just so out of place. Guys, can you stop, like, being crazy, please? Thank you.
That was me.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry, the cats were kind of insane right there. Need to get her off.
I don't know what their deal is sometimes. I really don't.
They're kitties.
Yes, they are kitties. Yeah.
They're just kidding around.
I see what you did there.
Oh man, spiral staircases. I've been in some old churches that are spiral staircase like this.
I was so mad that they destroyed the cathedral, though. I mean, that was like a really old
Yeah,
historic cathedral.
I know. Do you know how long it takes to make? I mean, some of those would take like 100 years to make, or like.
They couldn't even, after the destruction that Batman and Joker did to that place, I mean, the restoration costs for that,
replace that.
there's no way that you could have made that look exactly how it was. Like, everything would have to be changed.
Yeah. I know. They just took. I mean, people just took so much longer. I used to think, like, oh, it's so cool. People spent much more time back then. But if you think about it, the workers that had to work on some of those big structures probably weren't paid very much at all. So it's kind of like, it's. I mean, I hate how things in modern society don't look as awesome as back then. But at the same time, it's like, at least people get, like, healthcare and stuff now.
Totally. Okay, so yeah, we're pretty much. Robin, are you ever gonna come up the stairs?
You have to admit, though, walking into a cathedral like that is like the most beautiful thing ever. It's so cool. Especially like talking in it, you can hear your voice go from one end to the other. Like the way they created it is just amazing.
There were some also key differences that they did with the first Batman movie too that made it relatable. Even though there was this guy who, you know, saw doing like Batman as like a normal night job and he's going out and trying to make the world a better place, they show throughout the film that he is a vulnerable human. Like where he almost dies when the Batwing crashes and he's still like hurt from the accident, that when he comes into the cathedral, the only reason Joker knows that Batman's alive and chasing him is Batman walks into the cathedral and he stumbles and he knocks over a bunch of pews like domino style.
Oh, yeah.
And that alerts the Joker that Batman's on his way.
Yeah.
So that's why he sends the bell down as a greeting.
I think that's why I like the animated series so much, is because you always get the impression like this person's human, but he's still trying even though.
Well, that's what Bruce Timm and Paul Dini did when they made Batman. They didn't give him... They wanted to create their own Batman, like, movie universe type thing with characters and, you know, that stylized look and stuff like that. But at the same time, they wanted Batman to be more flesh and blood. So even though Batman had the body armor, which made sense and how he survived a bunch of stuff,
yeah,
for their show, they just wanted to have a simple suit. Really no protection, no bulletproof vest, no nothing. Because they really wanted to keep the viewer on edge watching it.
Yeah. Oh, it did keep me on edge all the time.
Because there were episodes where Batman would bleed or get cut or shot or, you know, explosions.
I mean, it makes you, like, appreciate more. Like, somebody just with a bunch of armor walking in and taking care of business. Like, isn't that exciting to watch? Because you're like, okay, this person's gonna win, whatever. But, like, if they're just a human and, like, you see them get shot, it makes you feel for the character so much more and realize what they're sacrificing to try to protect other people and stuff. Yep.
The only big difference that they messed up, though, is that Batman going all the way back to the Bob Kane years, he had a bulletproof vest. Like, Finger and Kane made sure that, you know, because Batman was shot and sometimes he would get punched, he would need to have a little bit of padding under his costume, like, in order to prevent, like, stuff like that. Yeah. And it's not like they had armor-piercing rounds in the 40s, so that type of, like, bulletproof vest that he wore would have actually worked really well.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have, like, military-grade rounds and stuff yet. That was a good, like, 50 years later or something like that.
Yeah, I know, because, like, people just kept improving bullets as time went on because people kept getting better and better armor.
But by the time of, like, the mid-Golden Age, or essentially it was the Silver Age, though, like, with all the crazy capers, Batman went back to just wearing a basic suit with no protection because he didn't need it. He didn't even worry about the villains, like, actually shooting him or anything. They would put him in elaborate death traps or something like that.
Oh, right.
So, I mean, Batman as a whole became, like, very silly. Which reflected the times of the 50s and the 60s, so...
Yeah,
But thank God it only lasted 15 years. That'd be like could you imagine the New 52 if it lasted, like, 15 years?
Oh, my God.
That would have been insane.
Kapow!
Take that, Joker. Oh! That's not the punchline. I was... Uh-oh.
That's quite a shock.
Ah, I see what you did there. Ah!
I don't know. I don't have any other puns.
You're despicable. He actually said that.
My puns are quite electric.
Mark
today.
Hamill had a couple
yeah.
Looney Tunes references. I hate his hair.
Oh.
I hate Joker's hair in this so much.
Wait, isn't it similar to the Burt or
No.
no?
No, he had it kind of slicked back.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
you're
why
right.
they decided to do that weird Joker look.
Is that like a cartoon or no?
You could say it's a variant of the animated series, kind of, but
But
not sure.
it's still really crazy.
That is a cool looking
Ah,
picture.
I know.
I didn't think Lego Batman could look cool. I was
Yes.
wrong.
You were misinformed.
I was very misinformed.
Harley Quinzel.
Dr. Quinzel. And that should be true Batman status. So, we are going to go through and play the villains. We're just going to take a little break, which won't mean anything for you guys and gals. So tomorrow we'll start the villain stuff.
Yay!
Did we actually do all the villain missions in the original Lego Batman on the Wii, or did we just skip it? Do you remember?
I thought we did at least some of them. It's possible we did them all.
I'll have to
Can't
check.
remember.
Because, I mean, we're definitely going to do it here. I remember when we did the Lego Batman series, we were like, oh, look, John Burton. He's probably a person who knows Tim Burton. It's like, no relation.
Yeah. Of course, he must know Tim Burton.
There's
because-
also a guy or a girl named Elfman in the credits, too.
Oh, really?
No relation.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
This was a fantastic game. I really enjoyed playing
Yeah, I
it.
can't believe we're completed.
Well, we completed the Batman story.
Now we're gonna do the villains.
Yep.
Exciting.
That is the plan.
Wait, do they end with Batman though after we do the villains? Like,
No.
so this is the end of Batman.
This is technically the end of the game. And the DS cutscenes are completely different than the cutscenes from the Wii and the PS.
Oh, okay.
Was this game PS2 or PS3? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Might have been a
but the
PS3
music is
game.
awesome. And Batman looks really happy with himself sitting next to that gargoyle.
I did a great job at making that little background.
I know, I like it.
So
It's
since we
very
came up with a
Gotham-y.
way to do like the two screens now, we need to find a way to like change the background for when we do different things.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Open Broadcaster works so well for stuff. So I don't know when we're going to get to Lego Batman 3 on the 3DS. I think we'll probably do it when the Lego Batman movie ends up coming out on Blu-ray and DVD.
Okay.
Because it's going to take the rest of this week to just go through, because of the villain aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, with Lego Batman 2, we were done. And then, you know, we tried to do free play, but the free play stuff got messed up, so. Yeah. Which, I never posted that episode because there were some problems with it. But we still have some time, so why don't we go to Arkham Asylum? Okay, that's not Arkham Asylum. How do I get to Arkham again? There it is. So this Arkham is different than the console version.
Yeah.
It's just a series of doors and the bad guys are running around. But yeah, so, and you can see that the title names for the episodes is exactly the same as the episodes for Batman. So we'll have to come up with clever titles for the videos, because otherwise you're just saying the same name of the video and it's going to confuse people.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to come up with some amazing names. I know, that's weird that they call it the same thing, but with villains.
Yeah.
There's
So this is Arkham.
That's Clayface walking around?
Clayface, Scarecrow.
Yep.
The different villains are locked up in these cases.
I would not want to... I mean, look at that. They have to live in a glass wall with people looking at them the whole time.
Well, it's jail, hun.
That would be disturbing.
It's not something pleasant. Anyway, guys and gals, that does it for this episode. Join us tomorrow as we start the villains. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us your favorite memory of the '89 Batman film in the comment section below. God bless and happy gaming.
See ya!